Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Summerbash 2017 slash Christmas in July. And now we're going to talk about another bad comic book movie from the summer of 2009. This was supposed to be the start of the standalone X-Men movies, and this one fails on all accounts. And I hate this film more because of another film that came out last year, and I'm going to get to that. And that is X-Men Origins Wolverine. This came out in May of 2009. When I saw it in the theater, I was like, that was all right. It didn't kill me. But looking back at it, it is not held up. It is a very disappointing X-Men movie, standalone film for Wolverine and its own movie. Excuse me, away from the rest of the X-Men. But it's a very disappointing film. This film should have been R. Studios should not have interfered with the movie because it feels like half a movie. Half of it is a Wolverine movie, and half of it is just an X-Men movie they threw together. And also, you didn't need. There was a lot of things you didn't need here. There was just a lot of bad fan service, like, oh, the Blob. Yeah, he's not a mutant. He's just a fat guy. Oh, you want Gambit? Yeah, you're not gonna get him with the cards, throwing the cards, and having the Southern accent and looking like in the cartoon. No, you're gonna have Taylor Kitsch with a bad accent, with long hair and with a stick, and it's a complete waste of my time. And you ruined the best character that was introduced in this movie. That thank God we got a movie last year to repair him, and that is Wade Wilson slash Deadpool. You know, thanks to this movie right here, this is how you do Deadpool right, Fox. This is how you do Deadpool right. You give him his character, you make him talk, you give him the costume and the freaking mask, he kills people, he freaking does it. This is how you do it right, you assholes. You ruin one of the best characters in the comics. You made Wade Wilson okay. He doesn't have his messed up face. He had the swords. There was some potential there. Ryan Reynolds was very interested in playing him. And then later in the film, you turn him into freaking Baraka from Mortal Kombat 2 with these freaking metal arms and a sewn mouth shut. What the hell is wrong with you? And he's bald and he has freaking Cyclops' powers. What the hell were you thinking, writers? Skip Woods is a horrible writer. He wrote this and he should be punched in the face because he wrote this and he wrote freaking I think he wrote the last Die Hard movie, which I can enjoy, but his writing does suck. And he also wrote the last Arnold movie that was in theaters, that was in mainstream theaters for a while, and that was Sabotage. And he writes horrible dialogue. It's either tons of curse words or he doesn't know how to write a good story. Fuck you, Skip Woods. You're a terrible writer. And this movie makes me hate this movie even more because that this movie is a true Deadpool movie and it's a true X-Men standalone film compared to this. This film is not violent. Wolverine doesn't go berserker rage in this movie. The CGI looks freaking terrible on his claws, and on also Emma Frost looks like shit, and the Charles Xavier, the younger version of Patrick Stewart, that looks like shit, and it's horrible. It's really really horrendous bad CGI. There's a few good things in this movie. I think Lee Schreiber is a good Sabretooth. He tries. He's not cartoonish. He has a good look to him. He has a good demeanor with Hugh Jackman. That's always nice to see. That Sabretooth was done well. Hugh Jackman is trying. He's not phoning it in. He's at least showing emotion and going, ah! That scene where he comes out of the water, that's an awesome scene. I just wanted to see blood. Actual violence. This movie did it just right. And yeah, just everything they do, they screw up the origin. That they show him as a kid with bone claws, and he's like, ah! And I'm like, no, that's so stupid. Trying to make him tragic like Batman. And he's like, I'm Canadian. Okay, that was a nice touch, when Hugh Jackman says that, but it's so inconsistent. He has a wife or, a woman that he's with, um, played by the actress from John Carter. I forgot her name. I think it's Lynn Collins, not Lily Collins. Lynn Collins, very beautiful actress. I love looking at her. She's very talented. I do like her, but she doesn't have much to do except be the girlfriend of Wolverine. They K-Fed kill her off, and then at the end of the movie, she's alive. Again, bad writing, and just you waste all these characters. Magneto's never mentioned in this movie. They have younger versions of Cyclops and Emma Frost and a bunch of them. Just happen to be freaking in prison, and then they break out of prison, and then they meet up Charles Xavier, and like, oh, I want to recruit you children to my school, the X Mansion. I'm like, this is so much bad fan service. It really is. And like I said, there's no blood in this movie. It's barely. You know how they stop Wolverine? They shoot him with an adamantium bullet. Why? How did you make a freaking adamantium bullet? How? It doesn't. Again, no consistency in the plot. This film is boring. There's some action scenes that work. Him and Sabretooth's fight was decent when they first fight. And like I said, the him coming out of the water. Of course, he's naked, so they don't show his crotch. But and then he's just going like this. That was a pretty cool scene too. But I want to see Logan so I could forget about this movie because I hate this movie so much. Thanks to this movie, this movie was fun. It was funny. Great lead character. They make fun of Hugh Jackman, which is always nice to see because in this because let's face it, Reynolds this saved his career, and I love watching this movie more than X-Men Origins Wolverine because they made Deadpool into a joke here. They had to rectify it with this and with Deadpool 2 coming out next year. So fuck X-Men Origins Wolverine for ruining this character because this character this is what we got last year. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see Baraka pull with his mouth shut and then at the end post credit scene where Stan Lee is not in, he rips his mouth open and he goes, "Shh, yeah, we're gonna make a movie in a couple years. It's gonna be way better." But Fox, you can take this for ruining Deadpool for years. It took almost 10 years to make this, and we got it because of the freaking director, Tim Miller, who respected the source material. You didn't, director of this dumbass movie. And Skip Woods, you're a shitty writer. Stop writing. The best thing you ever did was you directed a movie called Thursday, but your writing in that was kind of iffy. Here, you just don't know how to write, dude. There's no consistency. Some moments are dark, then some moments are laughable, then some moments have bad CG, and some moments have, there's some well shot scenes where a car blows up and Wolverine's walking away. That's pretty cool. But then it's always a good idea and then a bad idea merged into one, and the film fails on every conceivable level. The only reason that First Class was a hit was because they ignored this movie and just did their own thing. And using Wolverine better in Days of Future Past, because in First Class he makes an uninteresting cameo, like "Go fuck yourself." That's it. That's all we get from Wolverine in that. He in Days of Future Past is a big part, and he works for it. And Jackman actually he's working with a better director than Bryan Singer. Singer didn't direct this, and it shows because it's so bad. It's just so horrible to look at. The end fight with Wolverine and freaking Barakapool, because I'm not calling him Deadpool. Deadpool's not in this movie at all. And freaking Sabretooth is like on top of a building, and then he's freaking teleporting. I'm like, you ruined this character. Thank God that this happened, or we would have never had Deadpool ever again in anything Marvel. And yes, it's not an MCU film, but it's still a Marvel canon, so it's still in the same universe. But anyway, yeah, this movie sucks. Like, if you have not seen X Men Origins Wolverine, skip it. Just see the first two X Men movies. Skip 3. Skip this one. First Class I haven't seen, so I can't say much. Days of Future Past is an awesome movie. That should have been the real X Men, The Last Stand, or Apocalypse. Apocalypse sucks. Wolverine has one cool scene, and that's it. Logan, I'm looking forward to. Because that is R rated. It's unhinged Wolverine. He's a much older man, and he's killing people left and right. And they do not skip on the blood. Case in point, right here. Yeah. When this is a character, you can't make him for kids. I'm sorry. In the cartoon, it worked. He had his yellow mask and his outfit. That's fine. But in the cartoon, he also would rip robots apart. You need Wolverine using his freaking claws and cutting people to bits. The game, I've heard good things about X Men Origins Wolverine, the game for the PS3, because it's actually what we wanted. Bloody and awesome action with Wolverine kicking ass. That's what we wanted. We didn't want this boring ass drama where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to fight in a war," and then it's never mentioned again. Because Skip Woods, like I said, no inconsistency whatsoever. He's a worse writer than Simon Kinberg. He's worse because Skip Woods has never written a good script ever. I like Die Hard 5, but it would have been better written by anybody else. Stephen E. D'Souza, who did the original, not this dumbass that doesn't know what the how to keep a consistent tone here. And then there's like jokes that don't work, where he's looking at his claws and it looks like shit, and then he breaks the sink as dumb. It's a horrible movie. Like it has I've liked it less and less ever since this came out, because this is how you do it right. An individual character movie from the X-Men canon that actually is done well and with a freaking sense of humor. Not imagine if Deadpool was some boring ass drama. No one will watch it. They will be like, "This is boring. I want to see Deadpool quip. I want to see him cut people's heads off. I want to see him, doing freaking Marina Baccarin." Yeah, as Wade Wilson, he actually show some freaking, I don't know, procreation. That's nice. That's always good to see. And not that I'm saying a sex scene would save this movie. It wouldn't. This movie sucks. I'd rather see the R-rated cut of Daredevil. That movie is not a joke compared to this. That movie was done in 2003, and it was a bigger hit than this. It was a better movie. It had a better cut with the R rating, and Daredevil was not a joke in that movie. And it didn't have the CG is a little dated, but the villain is much better. I don't remember who the villain is in this movie. Besides Sabretooth, Barakapool didn't do it for me. Will I Am, I don't know what the hell he was doing there. The guy from Dominic Monaghan, the guy from Lord of the Rings, he's completely wasted and dies off screen. No Storm, no freaking Magneto, no glory, nothing. Just this movie sucks. It's very forgettable, and I don't want to ever think about it again, because it's just this is what happens when you give the studios too much power and they screw up a main character and you make Wolverine into a joke. It took until Logan to get it right, because the Wolverine heard mixed things, but it should have been R, not PG-13. This would have sucked if it was PG-13, because it would just cut half of the stuff out that they put in this movie. And some people said this movie feels PG-13. No, oh God, no. Not just for the dialogue, but when he cuts a guy's head off, do you really think they're going to show that in a PG-13? I think not. But yeah, I'd rather see this movie better, because yeah, the villain sucks, but Deadpool is what it's all about. And Marina Baccarin is a beautiful woman, just like Lynn Collins, and she's used more. And she's not just there for sex appeal; she actually has a character. Lynn Collins is just the love interest, and she dies, and then they bring her back for no reason. So, yeah, skip X Men Origins Wolverine it killed the franchise for a while. There wasn't another X Men movie till 2011, and that to reboot it with a pseudo prequel with First Class. And even though I'm not that interested in that movie, I'd rather watch it than this, because this is just a joke. It's almost Batman and Robin bad. It really is. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I needed to vent this out. I've been waiting to rant on this movie because I did Apocalypse already. Let that movie have it, and this movie's a summer movie, so it deserved a summer bash. So I'll see you guys in the next review. Skip X Men Origins Wolverine is not worth your time. Later.